Voila! Bonjour, friends. Bonjour, bonjour. Cynthia here with another episode of GrandeDame Conversations. Bonjour, bon dia, bon dia, buenos dias to all of you all around the world, and happy Thursday. As promised, this is another episode of GrandeDame Conversations, and I am Lara and Cynthia, your host, affectionately known as Mentor Cynthia, and we are waiting for our guest, a very special guest that is, and her name is Jean Shafiroff. She is a staple in New York society. So, in the meantime, as we wait for her, how are you? Tell me, here she is. Here she is.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Having a good day. No complaints. And you?
I am good. I am good. First, thank you so much for accepting my invitation to have a conversation here on Grand Dame Conversations. I know you're very busy. This is a very active season for you, so thank you for being here.
Well, thank you very much for having me on your Instagram platform, Cynthia. I am so impressed with the work you do. And it's a great honor to be able to speak to you and then to your followers.
Thank you. Thank you for that. It is an honor to have you, as I said, and whether you know it or not, you are one of my inspirations. So thank you for doing what you do.
Well,
Well,
thank you.
so let's start with being the First Lady of Philanthropy. I have some notes here. Tell me, what does that title mean to you, and how do you personally define what it means to lead with the heart? Because you focus on giving from the heart.
Yes, well, first off, I serve on many charity boards, and each year I host many different events in my home, mostly in New York, for charity. I host and underwrite. Here is what drives me. I also chair many galas, maybe between 8 and 10. I feel so blessed to live in this country and to have a good life. I believe it is my responsibility to give back. And I wrote a book on philanthropy called Successful Philanthropy: How to Make a Life by What You Give. And in that book, I say that anyone can be a philanthropist. And what does that mean? Well, if you don't have the financial resources to give, you can give your time and knowledge. How do you get started in giving back? And this goes right back to your original question. You follow your passions. You decide, you say to yourself, oh, I want to help children with cancer. That's a passion of yours. So go out there, look for a charity or look for a few that deal with children who are suffering from cancer and who are helping them. And learn all you can about that charity. And then from there, you want to get their financial statements, make sure they're running their money correctly, get to meet some of the players, and then slowly get involved. And how do you get involved? Well, it depends on what you can give. And if you want me to continue
Yes.
down this route,
Okay.
I will. Yeah,
Okay.
so now you found a charity you love. Just say, I don't know, say the American Cancer Society. Let's just take any name. And you want to work specifically with children or an office somewhere near where you live. Well, go and meet everybody, see if there's some volunteer work you can do. And if there is, go and volunteer. Depending on your time, you may not have a lot of time. Maybe you'll start with donating a few hours a week, or maybe a few hours a month.
Right.
Um, and start slowly and then go from there. And of course, if you have the ability to give a very large donation to a charity, I would suggest doing a lot of research and also maybe seeking the advice of others to help
Of
you.
others. Jean,
Yes.
There was a lot of nuggets in what you just shared, a lot of nuggets. So let's just go back a little bit because the
Sure.
word philanthropy, before social media, we read about philanthropists. They were these elegant, high society women who gave away millions of dollars, who raised millions of dollars. They attended beautiful galas, opulent galas. And you are also known as a staple in New York society as well. But I'm saying all of that is because before social media, many people thought that was a realm that was untouchable, that it was difficult to become a philanthropist. And then we saw a shift where everyone on social media was putting philanthropists in their bio. Let's talk about, is it really, because you are a real philanthropist. I use that word real because you are raising money for charities. You are hosting and organizing and attending charity galas that raise money for very important causes. What is the misconception to you about philanthropy?
Yes, well, I think first I want to show you my book. So if anyone is
Yes.
interested in learning more, it's called Successful Philanthropy: How to Make a Life by What You Give. Mike Bloomberg, the great philanthropist, his daughter Georgina, who's also a big philanthropist, wrote an introduction, and then a
Mm.
preface by a philanthropic consultant, Scott Elkins. And I think there's a lot of valuable information in this, and you can buy this on Amazon
On
Books, and it's
Amazon.
not very expensive. Yes. So I know a lot of people are just saying they're a philanthropist. They go to one event a year and they buy a ticket, and that, that doesn't really make you a philanthropist. A philanthropist, in my opinion, is someone who is giving time, who is giving knowledge.
I can't hear you, Jen. One moment. I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Can
Okay,
you
now
hear
we
me
have a better
now?
I can hear you now. So we stopped hearing what you were saying when you said that everyone thinks that a philanthropist is just buying one ticket and attending an event. So,
No, some people think that makes them a philanthropist, but
right.
a philanthropist is someone who's giving time, they're giving knowledge, and they're giving available resources. So let me
Yes.
give you an example. Let's just take anybody, like a woman. Her name is Sandra. And let's
Okay.
just say Sandra, she works a full-time job. She has some extra time, believe it or not. She's not married. She doesn't have children. Volunteer ambulance driver. Twice weekly, she's driving an ambulance. Twice weekly, she's donating her time, which is extraordinary. She's helping to save lives. When she gets her paycheck, and again, she's not making a lot of money. She takes a small portion of that paycheck and gives it to different charities. I consider Sandra a philanthropist because she's giving
Mm.
her time. She's giving time. She's giving her knowledge, her ability to, say, drive an ambulance and to help people. And then she's giving some of the money that she makes. And I think that's a philanthropist. Let's talk about a very high level philanthropist. Let's talk about all these billionaires we read about. Well, many of them are very, very generous. They're writing very big. I consider them philanthropists. Someone like myself, just to tell you what I do, I serve on 7 charity boards, 2 advisory charity boards, and then I'm an honorary trustee of a 10th. My 4 areas of focus are women's rights, rights of underserved populations, healthcare, and animal rights. In addition, I support the LGBTQ community as best as I can and many different institutions in the arts. My philanthropy is literally a full-time job.
It
I'm
is.
constantly working, but I love it and it gives me great fulfillment. I'm now an empty nester. My children are out of college and I have time on my hands. And how did I get going? Well, I don't go to sit in front of a TV. So slowly I started to go on different charity boards. And
Mm,
I think it's very fulfilling to me, but not everybody will want to go on a charity board because
right.
very often charity boards, they have maybe a big financial contribution you have to give, or you have to get money for them, meaning you have to go out there and fundraise.
Let's talk about
And
that. Let's talk about that,
yes,
Jean. Let's talk about that. You're being very modest here. You are known as one of the biggest philanthropists in New York. How do you get individuals and organizations to give you those big checks? And I'm asking because I serve on several boards here as well. You have inspired my philanthropist work as well. But how do you get individuals to give generously where you've been able to raise over $2 million at times for charities? What is your secret?
well, there is no secret other than it's very serious, hard work. And the first thing is, I'm not getting the money. The money is always being sent to the charity. There are different steps, but a lot of people in development offices of different charities think that calling people on the phone is vitally important, but you have to know pretty much who you're calling and have a relationship with them. For example, if I just picked up the phone and called somebody who I know nothing about, chances are they're not going to do anything because they won't trust me. So, but if I know somebody and I know that they're philanthropic and I know that they have the means to give, and I think, let's say I'm raising money for a hospital. I happen to be on the board of the Southampton Hospital Foundation, and over the years I've raised a lot of money for them. And most people believe in healthcare, and they believe in healthcare for everyone. Most people, if they have the opportunity to support their local hospital, will do so. So I big gala a number of years ago. I did it 3 times. I would call people and ask them based on their particular situation, maybe for a $10,000 table, to purchase a $10,000 table and come to the event. So the first step would be to call them. And if they said yes, I would ask for their email address and then follow up with a little note and a letter from the charity, official paperwork with the address of where to send a check. Now, if they want to give the money by a wire transfer, I would then connect them to the charity directly. But none of this money ever comes to me. I don't want to see anyone's money ever. If someone wanted to give me a credit card, I would say, no, you must call the charity
Mm,
and pay that way because it's people have to realize this is other people's money. I'm just an intermediary. I'm a volunteer fundraiser. And trust me, it's not easy to do. But when I was raising all this money for Southampton Hospital and then for other groups, some people say yes, some people say no. And so you must remember a no today can be a yes.
tomorrow.
For certain
Right.
people, yes, thank them and never. I don't believe in gossip. Don't start talking about somebody because here's the thing. You might ask them for a charity that you think is very important to you, but they may be very involved with 4 other or 5 other charities
Yes.
and may not find your particular charity the one that they want to give money to, but they may change their mind in the future. You have to they would want to give to your charity. And you might want to send them a lot of information on the charity. They or just tell them to go to the website, to review the
To
website,
review
to
it.
read. And absolutely, if you're going to give money to a charity, make sure you review the website. So it's not that simple to raise money. It's a difficult process.
How
I
important
work
is
with
it?
some
How important is raising money for charities in today's world? I mean, have you seen what have you seen in all the years you've been doing this? Is it getting better? Are people more committed to supporting charities today as they did 10, 20 years ago? Or do you see a decline in interest and support?
I see actually an interest that the concept of philanthropy has become um, more widespread. Maybe my book and maybe I've been on really countless
You have.
magazine covers talking about philanthropy in the articles uh, to motivate people to want to give, to want to be helpful to society. And that putting that aside, although there are more people who want to give, there are also more charities. There are thousands of charities here in our country, so you really have to choose wisely. Most charities are run well, but there are some that are not run well and that mismanage money. You can always request a charity's 990 form, and that's just like a 1040 form. The 990 form is a form that the charities are required to or encouraged to file with the United States government. And if you're concerned about a charity, there are different websites that you can go on that
Oh.
rate charities. They don't rate every charity, but GuideStar, Charity Navigator, and
Oh.
I believe the Better Business Bureau. But it's important to learn all you can, especially if you're going to write a big check, if you're
And
going
this
to write a big
information is in
check.
your book, correct? This information is in your book.
It is in my book, yes. Yes, in the back of the book. The beginning is to inspire people. The second half is more a practical guide to give.
I want to talk about your transition from physical therapist to investment banking to being the First Lady of Philanthropy and also being a fashion icon. I am so inspired by your charitable work. However, those gowns, Jean, the gowns. How have you managed to do all of this? You're a wife, you're a mother, you are now a
Well,
grandmother. Congratulations. And you are, I mean, the gowns, friends who are watching this, follow her. And look, you think I wear gowns. That is nothing in comparison to Jean's gowns. Let's talk about how you not only help charities with money and time and resources, but you also help with your visibility. How important is that?
in the case of philanthropy, I think it's very important. I consider myself a public figure, and I pretty much figure my entire life is under a microscope, but I'm okay with that. I accept that, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Now, I will add, although I received this title, First Lady of Philanthropy, from New York State Assemblywoman Rebecca Seawright back in 2020. Many women are doing a lot of good philanthropic work, and so you could say there are many first ladies, just like there are many countries in the world. Well, there are many first ladies of different countries. And how do I juggle everything? Well, I first started my first career after graduating from Columbia University. It was a long time ago, and I got a BS in physical therapy. Um, that program no longer exists on the undergraduate level. I worked at the Inner City Hospital St. Luke's, right in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
It a real eye opener because I worked with people who lived well. They were to use they lived in an underserved community. They struggled financially um, greatly, not a little, but greatly, and then they had health
Mm.
issues. And I think I developed tremendous compassion and empathy. While I was working, and I only worked for 1 year, I thought it would be good to get more education. So I applied to Columbia to go back to get my MBA in finance. I was accepted, and I originally started as a marketing major, and then I changed to finance. So after the 2 year MBA program, this is graduate school, my degree was in finance, and I applied for jobs in public finance. What a difference. But I
Mm.
learned a lot. I learned the importance of extreme, um, the documents, working on many documents, new business development.
Yeah.
And I learned skills that were invaluable and so valuable for what I do today. And everything, just the way raising money, it has to be very legally done. We were working on many legal documents and new business development, and it was a great experience. From there, when I was married and I became pregnant. My husband was also a Wall Street person. Well, I realized no one is ever going to see the child if one of us doesn't stop working. And so I hard to stop working, but I did. And I raised two daughters, and I don't look back. And then slowly I got involved with different charities. And I was a full time stay at home mother. I had that luxury. And but then I wanted to get more and more involved in charities. And as I said, today I serve on many boards, I host many things, I chair many things, I write many events that are in my home so that the charity doesn't have to pay for it.
Well, I'm not going to keep you. Thank you for sharing your transition. We have many people in the comments who are like fascinated. They're like, wow, what a transition. They were saying, thank you so much for this information. There are many more women who will see this conversation, who inspired to lead with impact, elegance, purpose, like you do. What advice would you give the next generation of granddames?
Yes, well, first, believe in yourself. That I say is key. Work hard, live an honest life. I think that's so important because trust is key. If people trust you, they will work with you and they will want to be with you. If they don't trust you, you can't be effective. And be kind, be a kind person. Don't get involved in all the gossip and all the nonsense.
Right.
And I want to say also, if you love fashion and you can support, you know, buying beautiful clothing or a few little things and it makes you feel good because I didn't speak about my fashion, go ahead and do it. But also if you find you love fashion and you have a very, very moderate budget, well, go on all these websites. There are sales all over. There are wonderful websites that have beautiful, beautiful clothing and they're not expensive. So I think women at every socioeconomic level can get involved in philanthropy, can feel good about who they are, and get out there and make an impact, make a difference. And if you're young and you're just starting out, start slowly. And remember, if you're giving your time, your knowledge, and your resources, make sure you're treated with dignity and respect
Mm.
Also, make sure you treat others with dignity and respect.
Wow, this was amazing. Thank you so much, ladies. You've heard it. I am going to reshare this live broadcast. Make sure you share it to encourage another woman. Go ahead on Amazon and pick up Jean's book. It is full of resources and information. You can follow her as well here on Instagram. She is the GrandeDame of New York society. She is the First Lady of Philanthropy. She is a fashion icon. And most importantly, she is doing amazing work on behalf of charities. And we are thankful that her family and her husband is allowing her to do so. Jean, thank you so much again. And I look forward to another conversation.
And Cynthia, thank you very much. And I thank your listeners for joining us. And also, remember, believe in yourself, feel good about who you are, and start slowly. And always remember that you have great, great value that you can share. Thank you.
Wonderful. That's it, my friends. That was Jean Shafiroff. Make sure you connect with her here on Instagram. And if you have questions, I'm sure you can reach out to her. And don't forget to give back to your community. They are depending on you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.